So, hello everyone, and welcome to this period of meditation. And one of the ways that meditation can unfold, develop over time, is through appreciating some of the beneficial states, beneficial ways of being that come with meditation. And sometimes in doing this appreciation, it's maybe keep the bar low, keep it maybe micro moments of beneficial states. Because as we appreciate these beneficial states, that validates them, it makes room for them, it supports them to grow more, and they can last more than just a micro moment. Maybe they last 3 or 4, or even, who knows, maybe even a second or two. So the idea of appreciating something, and one of the things to appreciate is the moments the mind is not preoccupied. And I think meditators sooner or later will begin being sensitive, aware of how much thinking goes on in the mind and how much our attention is pulled into that world. Sometimes people are swept away in their thoughts, and or they have something they're really churning on or ruminating about, and it just seems like the most natural thing in the world to be thinking about it. Even for about the present moment, there's a continual commentary about it. It just seems like the most natural thing, but it's a kind of preoccupation of the mind. The mind is occupied with thoughts. And some people, because they identify with their thinking, will have this idea there's nothing wrong with thinking. This is who I am, and I should be free to think whatever I want to think. It's important. And certainly those are, it's a fine attitude to have in and of itself, but it doesn't really support the deepening of meditation, the deeper beneficial ways that meditation can improve our lives, benefit us, free us. And it's important to begin being sensitive to the difference between being preoccupied and the mind being, I don't know if unoccupied is the right word, but the mind being ready, receptive, that it's getting to be malleable and soft, that it's here. And this transition in a period of meditation from being preoccupied to being here. Now I'm present. And a kind of being present that doesn't require thoughts to tell us that. There's a knowing, I'm here, that's there before we have a thought. Oh, I'm here. And so to appreciate having arrived, appreciate an awareness that's here for a micro moment without being preoccupied, available to be aware, available to sense, to feel, to be present for what is actually here. Now, in this moment. Sometimes this is called arriving. We finally arrive in the present moment with our attention, rather than attention being swept up in or directed to or utilized by all kinds of concerns and preoccupations. An unoccupied mind is not a blank mind or a lazy mind. It's like a glass, a window, which has finally been cleaned. And now we can see. And the preoccupations interfere with that seeing. So, assuming a meditation posture, and if your eyes are still open, maybe lowering your gaze, and then gently closing your eyes. And gently, paying careful attention to the body and what's happening in your body, take a few long, slow, deep breaths. Maybe the deep inhale is kind of like saying hello, body. Connecting, being present. And then letting the breathing return to normal. And continue for a few while you breathe in and breathing out. Feel your whole body, the whole breath body. Relaxing as you exhale. Noticing that while you're being present for the body breathing, is there also a pull into the world of thoughts, ideas, preoccupations? And what's it like to have both? An intention to be with your body breathing, and a mind that wants to be with concerns. Underneath the mind's concerns, preoccupations, is there mental tension, pressure to think? And if there is, as you exhale, relaxing the mind. Letting the mind spread out, wide and still. Taking a few moments to acknowledge any thoughts and concerns you have. And by acknowledging them, maybe they can be put aside for now. So you can settle more into your meditation. More into an embodied connection to the present moment. And even if it's the smallest degree of being present for here and now, see if you can appreciate the attention you have. Appreciate the micro moments of unpreoccupied attention to being here in your breathing, your body, in your experience. If you give your awareness and attention over to breathing, your body, it's almost like giving it life, animating it. Instead of animating, energizing the thinking, the preoccupation. To be unpreoccupied is a matter of degrees. It's not all or nothing. Appreciate the degree to which your mind is less preoccupied, more here, in your experience. As we come to the end of this sitting, to turn our attention now out to the world. There's a difference between being available for others with our attention, our hearts, our care, to be available, versus advancing on people, asserting ourselves, being available rather than asserting. Being available is to be unpreoccupied, to be unbiased, not to meet with judgments and preconceived ideas. And what we learned in meditation about being unpreoccupied, but available, receptive, is invaluable for how to be with others. To be available, not in some passive, withdrawn way, but available to respond kindly, generously, lovingly, delightfully, respectfully, to be available. To wish people well, rather than caught up in our reactions. We are coming from our goodwill. On this day, may the people that I encounter or know about, may they be well, may they be happy. On this day, the people who I will be encountering or knowing about, may they be safe. On this day, the people that I'll have contact with or know about, may they be peaceful. On this day, may the people who I think about or meet, may they be free. And on this day, may I be available to have this goodwill, well-wishing for the people that I become aware of. May everyone we have encountered or think about or learn about today, may they be well. Thank you. So, continuing with the theme of this week, which is to be ready for change, to be able to, and willing to change in a good way by the life that we live. And to Dharma practice is walking on the path of being changed, to being changed for the better, being changed out of the ways that we live that are harmful for ourselves and harmful for others, into a way of living that is beneficial for ourselves and beneficial for others. And so to prepare or to help the mind or the heart or who we are be available for change, for beneficial growth, there are these 5 different areas. One is, did already, just a readiness, to be ready for something new, ready and available, to be receptive. The second is, we talked about yesterday, is to have a mind that's malleable, the mind which is workable, that you're not holding on to ideas, opinions, identities in such a way that things are stuck or hard, holding a stance. We're stubborn, we're resisting, we're asserting, but instead there's a softness, there's a malleability, there's a workability, we're a work of art that we can work on ourselves. And today, the topic of these 5 is being free of hindrances. And the hindrances are major preoccupations that we have, that we get caught in. They're kind of like like vacuum cleaners, so that get close to it and we get sucked into this vacuum cleaner, and we swirl around inside until somehow we find our way out. That these are very powerful forces that keep us preoccupied, churning, ruminating, caught up, wanting, not wanting, clamped down, shut down, frozen, agitated, spinning, all kinds of things. And there are 5 of them, but the shorthand is that they're preoccupations of the mind. And they're also, the Pali word nivarana, translated as hindrances, also means coverings. And sometimes I think of them as, there's this wonderful greenhouse that maybe because of it was going to be a freezing night, it was covered with big blanket. But then the farmers forgot to take the blanket off. And it stays that way for months. And the plants inside can't grow, and the warmth of the sun can't get in there really, and things shrivel and dry and get really thin and etiolated until they all fall over, the plants. So this idea that we have these coverings that cover something precious that we don't see when we're preoccupied. And to let go of these preoccupations, the image of just like pulling the blanket off, so that something that's deeper within, the seeds, that the seed beds and seeds can begin growing, something beautiful can begin to happen. We do have beauty within us, beautiful capacities, beautiful potential, beautiful attitudes, motivations, thoughts, feelings. And to be available is to be unpreoccupied and available is to allow something deeper to happen that can't happen when we're preoccupied. So one of the really important features of doing vipassana practice, insight meditation practice, mindfulness practice, is to really become an expert on the hindrances, on sensual desire, avariciousness, wanting, greed, ill will, hostility, resentment, and then I call it resistance and frozenness. stiffness. It's usually called sloth and torpor. But these are more strategies of not being present that shut us down. And then agitation and resentments, regrets, and then doubt. So there are these 5, and there's Dharma talks about them. There are essays on them. I have a little book about the hindrances it's called Unhindered. That it's important for people who do this practice here to not be discouraged, turn away from these when they occur to us, but rather really take them on as a worthy area to study, to understand how this works. Until we really begin to see and how the magic is done, that we no longer tricked by the magic into thinking that something is real there. And we start seeing how the sleight of hand of the hindrances of why we get caught in it and why we think they're so important and so valuable. And they're just a trick of the mind to get us preoccupied and caught. And to find ourselves without the hindrances is one of the great delights. So to begin having an unpreoccupied mind is a pleasure. So one of the ways to be prepared to change and to grow is to begin appreciating, valuing, enjoying, being inspired by the degree to which we are unpreoccupied. And that's a hard thing to do because of the preoccupation seems so important. Being unpreoccupied can seem like nothing. And, that's not any good. What's good is doing things and thinking about things. But this unpreoccupied mind that's available, that's present for the fullness of this life, the fullness of our hearts and our minds, just here and present, unpreoccupied. And to take the time to appreciate it, take the time to value it when it's there. And rather than having it all or nothing, it's either preoccupied or unpreoccupied, it's a matter of degree, and hopefully we're tipping the balance towards more being unpreoccupied than preoccupied. But begin appreciating the degree to which you're unpreoccupied, the degree to which you're available and present. And that also then allows you to have the same kind of attitude of availability, of receptivity, of kind of a softness around the ways which we are preoccupied. It's not like setting up a battle between them. The more we have this availability of attention, we can hold all the ways that we are caught and attached and involved. Hold it generously. Hold it non-assertively. Don't advance upon it to blow it away or fix it. Be available to know it fully. In meditation, maybe everything difficult within us is something that is a door to a deeper understanding of life and of ourselves. So this, so that if you really want to change in a beneficial way, begin appreciating the unpreoccupied mind, and make time for it. Learn to recognize when you're preoccupied, when you're spinning out, when you're kind of, being carried away by the trains of thought. And really kind of, there it is again. And then step off the train, take off the blanket. Let the thought bubbles kind of drift away. Let the tension and the pressure, the need to solve and fix and judge and remember and plan settle for a while, so you can be here in a deeper and fuller way. So as the mind, so that you're available, you're receptive, you are maybe start to becoming softer, in a place where creativity can occur, in a place where deeper wisdom and deeper understanding can arise. It isn't like you lose your ability to take care of your life if you're no longer preoccupied with your concerns. You gain a new vantage point in which to take care of your life when you're not preoccupied. And it's possible to have the important issues of your life come into your mind to be thought about without it being a preoccupation. It's just something to think about in a light way, an open way, and a peaceful way, and have tea with your thoughts and think what needs to be thought about. So for today, the topic now is to appreciate non-preoccupation. Appreciate when you're not caught up in your thoughts. And appreciate the alternative. Appreciate what that's like to not be preoccupied, caught. Appreciate the openness, the subtleness, the availability, the receptivity. Appreciate maybe even the delight and the joy of not having lost yourself to your thoughts. There's a way in which we lose ourselves when we get too preoccupied. And then we gain ourselves when the preoccupations, the clouds part, the preoccupations part, and we're here, we're back. Here I am. And for the Buddha, the absence of hindrances, the absence of preoccupation, is a source for gladness, for delight, for a kind of happiness. So what today I'd like to suggest to you is you notice the times that you're not preoccupied, where you're available rather than asserting yourself, and see if you can taste or find the hints maybe, or the small ways, big ways, in which there is something, some gladness, some happiness in this ability to be here in an available way. And think of it as micro moments sometimes. Think of it as a degrees. But see if you can find the well-being and the delight, the gladness, the appreciation for not being caught up. Wow, I'm not caught up. I'm just here for this second. Wow. And may you have lots of wow today. May you have lots of appreciation and joy. Oh, here it is. Here it is. I'm back. I'm back. We're back. Life is back. So, thank you very much. And may this be a day that's sprinkled with joy. Thank you.